So hey guys, I'm just straight on YouTube today. Or yeah, straight YouTube. We're not going to be sharing a whole lot today. I'm going to wait for a few people to get here. I'm sorry I'm running late, but I have roofers on the roof and I was hoping that it would calm down a little bit outside, but it's not. So I figured I'd come on here, say hi to everybody, see what everybody is up to. And then I will probably call it a day. So I'll wait until you guys get on. If you guys didn't hear what I was saying on my way in, is that I'm just running straight from YouTube. I've got the roofers on top of the roof right now, so it's going to make for a bad live. It's going to make for a bad live. So I figured we'd just come on here. We're not going to talk a whole lot about a whole lot, right? We do want to just, before we get started this morning, we just want to have a moment of silence for Ocean Gate. This is a really sad situation. I wanted to show you guys something that was sent to me. Guys, give me just a second. About this, okay, good. We got some people coming in. I just wanted you guys to hear it because it's very interesting.
I've been talking about this a lot with my husband about how crazy it is that the Titan submersible was made out of carbon fiber and not titanium or steel. And I haven't seen a lot of other videos of people talking about this, but it's insane because just some basic Googling, it's really obvious why other submarines and submersibles don't use carbon fiber, they use titanium or steel. And so the reason is because carbon fiber,
sorry guys, I'm not trying to give you,
have a lot of compressive strength, even though it has a lot of tensile strength. And the difference is, like, titanium and steel, when it's being compressed from like all directions, like how it would be in water, it has a stronger ability to withstand that, and it bends. Carbon fiber has the ability to withstand a lot of like stretching, but it doesn't have the ability to withstand a lot of compression because it's very brittle. And so I can't believe that they would use it underwater where the thing that you have to worry about is compression. And furthermore, carbon fiber actually speeds up corrosion when it's in contact with other metals. And so if it's underwater with other metals coming in contact with it, which is what it was on the submersible, then it will speed up corrosion. And then lastly, what's even crazier is that the problem with carbon fiber is that once it's degraded in some way, so for example, if there's like a crack, a hairline crack, or something like some sort of damage to it, you can't actually see it. And when you reuse something like a submarine or a submersible multiple times, you have to do an inspection to see if there's any cracks. And they would not have been able to actually do that because it was made out of carbon fiber, whereas if it was made out of titanium or steel, you would be able to see it. And that's the same reason why they tell you to throw away your helmet, even if you don't see visible cracks on it, if you've wrecked one time, because the next time you crash, the helmet is just going to like break into pieces. So that is insane to me that this submersible was made out of carbon fiber, and it also means possibly that it didn't implode the way that you think it imploded, because it probably shattered, which means that it probably took a little bit longer to kill the people than it would have if it actually just like crushed like you would expect titanium or steel to do. Like, that's crazy. This submersible had been on like 24 previous expeditions, and it is incredibly untested what happens to carbon fiber when it's repressurized like cyclically over and over again. So it probably had some sort of damage that they would not have been able to even see from a previous expedition. So I've been talking about this a lot.
So I thought that was interesting. A friend sent that to me, and I didn't really talk a lot. I've been following Ocean Gate, as many people here on YouTube have, just because it's an incredibly sad story. You have all of these smart, just amazingly smart people in one small area. And I learned that a 19-year-old boy was among those in that wreckage. And it's really sad because, I'm when I heard about the whole implosion thing, it made me feel really bad. But the only thing that came to mind is I'm glad it was quick for them. I can't imagine what was going on, and I'm hoping that it happened so quick they didn't even have an opportunity to be scared. I really, when stuff like this happens, those are the things I really wish for, because I just don't. It's like, it's already a horrible situation, and you just don't even want um, to think of them being scared or in pain, and it's just it's really really horrible. And we don't know what happened to them, but it sounds like you know they're no more. I mean, not just dead, but just gone, literally wiped off the face of the earth. And that's what's so sad for their families. Oh, Lady Seven Up, keep up the good work. Love you all. Thank you. That's so sweet. I can see you on this side now because I'm running straight YouTube. I'm not using StreamYard this morning. So I can actually see everything going on, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice. But it sucks because I can't share my screen. But again, I'm not planning on staying on here too long today because I've got the roofers and it's just not going to be conducive for a live environment. But in light of everything that we learned yesterday, it is really just a sad story. Some brilliant minds above on board, and I think that people don't realize the brilliant minds. I mean, think about all of us. None of us. I mean, we have like 103 people in the chat room right now. We put every single one of our pennies together. I guarantee we wouldn't even come close to the net worth of the 19-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, in order to be that, you're not stupid. Okay, you're a very bright, smart person to acquire such a mass of money and things. Okay, that's not something that stupid people do. They're taught well. They're taught. They're much smarter than me. They're much smarter than you. But just the ingenuity, I can only imagine, that was probably on that submersible. Even if it's not an ingenuity that where we think of it and how we think of it. But like the owner, the co-owner of this, he was on that submersible as well. What a smart guy. I mean, yeah, we're looking at it and saying, man, he really did he thought he was smarter than, some other people. It's sad. I don't want to victim shame, God bless him. God bless all the victims on that submersible. But we do have to kind of talk about the facts. And the facts are, on their website, they're saying that their safety is a number one concern. And then behind the scenes, I'm hearing and reading that they had, that the government had, some concerns with their submersible. But here's what, and I can't show you, but maybe I can find it on a different one. What was I looking at this morning? There's one that came in, another one. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. And it was about the submersible, but in a different light. Hold on here. It was related to the debris field. I can't remember where. Maybe it was on. It was another creator that we were watching yesterday to get some information. And it was the whole debris field. Oh, hey, Justin, and nice to see you, love. So, when you're talking about that whole debris field, first of all, when I heard debris, that was it for me. I knew when you hear that word, it's done. The situation has just went to a very, very bad situation. And me and my friend were sitting here, and it's like, holy crap. They're talking about debris field. So we come running into the office. We're starting to pipe on the computers and everything else. And sure enough, we're looking at this Intel paperwork, and they're starting to talk about this debris field. Well, this morning, I find out, is it here? It's one of these. This morning, I learned that this was detected. Let's see if I can send this to my phone. Hold on a second. This was detected by the implosion was actually detected by the Navy. Seriously. The Navy. Give me just a second. Hopefully it gets to me. Let me see if I can open this up. Come on. Let me see if I can open YouTube. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm trying to get this thing over to me. How do you get it over? How do you get it over? I know what I'll do. I'll save it. Let's save it to other cases. All right, give me just a second and I'll pull it up on my phone. Sorry, guys. Running off this is a little bit different, right? It's so funny because JLR doesn't use StreamYard very much. He uses direct YouTube. So I watch how he navigates and he does it like a pro. Me, I'm like, what am I doing over here? Right? What am I doing over here? Library. All right.
Let's bring into the conversation right now Dr. Sal Mercogliano with Campbell University, who's been guiding us through this story throughout the course of the week. And he joined.
You guys got to listen. I have to go get it. Give me just a second.
We talked to you earlier this afternoon. We wanted to get you though here in prime time because and Sal, there's this story that's breaking right now in the Wall Street Journal. I want to put up the headline here, and this is what they are reporting: a top secret U.S. Navy detection system designed to spot enemy submarines first heard the Titan submersible implosion days ago.
So, turning my arm holding this up.
Expertise and experience, were they involved at all with the search effort? And if not, why not?
Well, this is the SOSUS array, and this was used to detect Soviet during the Cold War days submarines coming in. It's an array of listening devices on the ocean floor, and what makes the SOSUS array really unique is that it can hear at those really deep levels, and more importantly, because there's multiple arrays, they can actually triangulate in. So they should have been able to determine a approximate position of where that explosion took place. It really depends on where the arrays are located, and this area here is a tough one to get into because you're coming up against the continental shelf. But again, they would not exactly know what that explosion was. What they would have detected is a noise. And again, not exactly clear if it's an implosion noise or just a noise in general. I think going back through, they were able to see through the data and figure out, okay, this is an anomalous noise. Now we need to go investigate it.
Yeah, because according to the Wall Street Journal report, it said shortly after the submersible's disappearance Sunday, the U.S. system detected what it suspected was the sound of an implosion near the debris site discovered Thursday. I want to get to the news when we woke up this morning that some debris had been found. When you heard that news, what went through your mind? To me, because we heard from Coast Guard officials, they found it about 1,600 feet from the Titanic wreck site itself. That's about 5 football fields in length. That's pretty close if you want to kind of parse through, how close that was or how not close that was. So to me, I was kind of thinking, what took them so long if it was that close to the Titanic wreck site of finding some debris at all?
Sure. I mean, so to put this into context, 1,600 feet, twice the length of Titanic. The reason it took them this long is they had to do this search with an ROV. And basically what you had was the visual imagery from the ROV, which is only, depending on the visibility down there, maybe a few meters.
Yeah.
So again, imagine, searching through several football fields, and the only thing you can look at is maybe a yard in front of you and a yard to each side, and you just have to go up and down and cover that entire area. And probably once they got those ROVs on site, they went down to Titanic itself because they knew that's where Titan was going, and probably worked out a search grid to cover the area around Titanic, working their way out. And that's where they found it. The bow section where they were found, it's free of debris. Most of the debris came after the vessel. So that was a pretty flat, clear area. And so any objects that were on the surface of the ocean would be found, pretty clearly once they see it. And this debris also wouldn't have a lot of that growth and marine life and sand on it that you see right there.
Yes, also I was kind of curious as well. We know that about an hour and 45 minutes into the mission, the trip itself, that's when contact was lost. And I know it's kind of hard to predict, but it seems like the prevailing wisdom today, right now, is that that is possibly the moment that the entire vessel imploded. Are you seeing that? Do you agree with that? Is there any evidence? Would there be any evidence to actually determine that?
Yeah, hour and 45 minutes is about 2 to 2.5 hours down to the bottom. And they've lost communication before. We've seen that repeatedly from stories that they've lost this. The survey of the bottom, where the wrecks is going to tell us that. If the debris field is close together, that means that the implosion happened closer to the bottom. If the debris is further apart, in other words, it happened at a height above Titanic, and the Gulf Stream came into effect and drift came in, then that debris pattern would be scattered over a much larger area. So they should be able to ascertain, based on the location of the debris, when it happened with the implosion on board.
Yeah, and I think, just kind of talking about, what these 5 on board went through during this, everyone was trying to kind of put themselves in their shoes throughout the course of this story. And then we got word that this theory might have been out there and you and I talked about it just last night, that the structural integrity of the vessel itself could have caused an implosion because of the immense pressure put on the sub itself. And people are essentially saying that, it was pulverized, and people are asking whether or not these bodies can be recovered. But that's not operative, is it? Because of the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, there's very low probability of recovering a body. I mean, just that pressure depth you're talking about would have crushed everything at that level. I think what we're going to see happen here next is part of the recovery operation will be to bring parts of the debris up. And particularly what they're going to want to look for is that tubular shape that connected the 2 end caps where the passengers rode on board. That's really the area that's going to have the biggest question. That is that fiber alloy that's put together. They'll want to be able to examine that and see what exactly potentially happened. This goes into the jurisdiction of who's going to be doing an investigation in this. This hasn't been ironed out yet. My view is it's probably going to be a joint Coast Guard, NTSB, and Canadian investigation based on the ownership of the company and the Canadian vessels involved in here. But they're going to want to bring it up. They're probably not going to be able to bring up everything here, but they'll bring up as much as they can in order to retrace what exactly happened.
Yeah, and that goes to where the investigation goes from here. Obviously, you still have so many questions like so many others. What will you be looking for, though, in the investigation itself?
The things I'm going to be looking for here is not just so much what happened down at the site, but what was OceanGate doing with this submersible in between dives? What did they do when they came back in from a dive? Are they investigating it? Are they doing checks and making sure that the hull integrity is in place? Because that's going to show whether or not they were doing their due diligence to ensure that this craft was safe throughout. Again, we talked about this earlier. The reason, they decided to do away with a classification society, and what a classification society would have required is periodic checks, inspections to ensure that this submersible was maintaining its integrity after not just an initial dive, but every dive it went on.
Yeah, because I think that's another question. The communications internally with folks at OceanGate, both before, during, after, and throughout the course of this entire week, I think that would kind of give a huge vantage point and viewpoint into what they were thinking and how they were operating and acting throughout the course of this search.
Yeah, because
Okay, let's see what here is going on. Okay, well then, goodbye. Actually, I won't even block you. I really don't care. I'm going to put you in a timeout. That's because I want to. Just because I want to. Yeah, so this is interesting information. This is information that we didn't know, that the Navy has information that they know exactly when that implosion happened on OceanGate. And not only that, they knew days before, which was pretty surprising. But that might be the reason why all those vessels kind of converged on that area, is that maybe the Navy gave them a tip or tipped them off that they heard this noise. I mean, and they keep saying an implosion. And my understanding is they don't have any of the metal brought up to the surface. And unless they can, but they did have the ROV down there. So, they might have been able to look at some of the debris. But I'm curious because, when you're looking at debris and metal type of debris, you can tell a lot from it, and it primarily an implosion or an explosion. Implosion obviously comes in, an explosion obviously goes out. So the implosion, I would think that metal would be bent in instead of out. The ridges of the metals should be toward entering in. So, me and my friend were sitting here talking yesterday, and we're talking about this case and how, we realized yesterday, I think it was like around 5, maybe 3, between 3 and 5 yesterday, we realized that we're hearing of a debris field, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is not good. Are we sure this is really a debris field and not some misinformation, right? It's what we have to do. As creators on here, we got to question everything. And so we went on and we started looking around, and sure enough, we were able to locate some kind of intel report, believe it or not. Don't ask me how, but it did confirm that there was a debris field. And that's when it kind of, we lost, we're like, oh my gosh, this is not good. You can't have a debris field underwater without having major devastation. Okay. And we're just looking at that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, how do we know so quickly that this is an implosion, that this is what happened? Because I'm playing devil's advocate here and saying, we know that it's lost connection before, right? We just heard it on that clip, that they've lost connection in the past. And so it's not the connection losing, but I'm wondering what they were doing inside that, and not only that, but what's combustible on that particular submersible? Are they running on gas? Do they have oxygen, on because I'm thinking, combustible, if it's like an explosion or implosion, what could have caused it? Because we did hear that this machine has made multiple trips. So obviously it could handle the depth. They said something like 24 trips, and of course, then they equate it to maybe they didn't see a crack in it and maybe they didn't inspect it right. But what if they did all that? What if that's not the issue? I just want to, bring a different perspective than the one we're hearing. We're hearing implosion. What if there was a major mechanical error, not an implosion, but rather that exploded or caused the crack in the side? Maybe there was a smaller situation that went on that, boom, we don't know. And even if that crack existed after they got down there, like say a situation happened, and at that point it cracked, and that's what made it implode. But I just feel like it just didn't do it on its own. It wasn't because they didn't maintain this machine. I just, there's a piece in me that just doesn't believe that. You're talking about multi-million, people cut corners all the time. Maybe they did. I don't know. We know that we've heard that there was safety concerns brought to light about the machine when we heard that it lost contact with everybody. We heard that way up front. But it's just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's a very sad situation. That is one thing I can tell you. It's a very sad situation. Let me see if I can go through some of your notes here. It was Sunday. They knew. They are saying it's a cover-up so the hunter it doesn't get that much heat. Oh my God. I hope not. That is awful. £6,000 pressure per square foot. It had to implode, not explode. Well, you know what I mean. I'm thinking an outside, like an oxygen tank something happened to that where it put the crack in the machine. And then it, I understand the implosion part of it, but I think there was an interior explosion before it imploded. And you're probably saying that doesn't even make sense. Yes, it does. If a canister of oxygen had an internal explosion that cracked the external part of the body, it would have imploded. So I just feel like there was something else there. Everybody's assuming that this was because it went down multiple times and didn't get inspected. I'm thinking that there's something else here. That's just my point. I think there's something else. I think something else happened that caused this implosion. So I'm interested in finding out. So, and that's what I asked is, what's on this thing? We definitely know if oxygen's on there, that is a combustible, right? We definitely know the oxygen is a combustible. How is it ran? Is it ran off a battery? Is it ran off of gas? Could that have been something? Andrew, I was born and raised in Newfoundland, Canada. I currently live only 16.5 miles away from the harbor in St. John's, where the ship launched with the crew of 5. May they rest in peace. Oh my goodness, Barbara. Oh my goodness. And it's just sad, guys. It's just sad. And we have to keep the families in our prayers. I don't know how I would handled a situation like this. I really just don't know. It is extremely, extremely sad that these people lost their lives, just trying to go and explore and do something nobody else. Like most of us on here, I don't know how many people on here have a really big bank account, but I don't know many people at all in this world that I know personally that could ever afford to go on an excursion like that. And this was a once in a lifetime opportunity for many of these people. And it was really just to think that they were just going to explore like an expedition, and it went terribly, terribly wrong. And again, these are some very bright minds on that ship. And it's just a very sad day. And not only this, but this wreckage has touched a lot of continents, right? It's we had some people from Pakistan on there. We had some people from Canada. So I think there was a person from France or something. We had some, this accident has touched a lot of continents in this world. That was interesting in and of itself to me. The one family paid $500,000 to go. And like I said, I just really hope, like the human side of me just hopes that it was very quick, that it just happened so quick and they didn't even have a chance to react, think, or feel, because the thought of suffering, I think, would just add insult to injury with this case, and for me, it's hard enough hearing this case, but I mentally just don't want to even consider them suffering, So not a whole lot going on. We got some documents, nothing really interesting on the Brian Kohberger case, is a bunch of orders, limiting time for, the 1:30 meeting or hearing that they're going to be having on, what day would it be? Is it Monday or Tuesday? It's the 27th, whatever day that ends up being. And I don't have my phone with me at the moment. So whatever the 27th is, Olivia's actually going to be there. She's going to be in Idaho. So I don't know. She doesn't really do a lot with her YouTube channel, but I will definitely be monitoring. She's going to be live and then, so I'm hoping that I get to chat with her a little bit and find out what's going on, right? Ro, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, love. I was quick for the 5. Yeah, I hope so. Ro, that really is my only concern because it's such a sad, If the crazy thing is, I think really a lot of us, maybe, there are some people that are in this chat that are absolutely terrified of water, right? They hear water in the shower and like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But outside of the people that are fearful of water, I think many of us, I know I would, if I had the money and had the opportunity to go see the Titanic, honestly, I jumped all over it. I really would have. I don't know any of us that would have given up an opportunity to go and look at the Titanic, especially a machine that's gone down several, dozen trips. I'm good with that. Honestly, I'd be good with that. So, and that's kind of scary because I think there's a lot more people, whether you want to admit it in this chat or not, I really truly believe that there are a few people in this chat. If you had that 250,000 or that $500,000, you would have been on that machine. You would have been in that submarine, the submersible. I'll call it the submersible, right? Not me, Betty. No way. Right? But I'm sure, do you go to the beach or do you go swimming? Because there are some people that wouldn't do it because they don't like water. So those people, I expect them to say, no way, right? But for me, like I was raised with pools. I was raised by the beach. We go out to the beach. We go swimming. I've seen sharks swim under me. There's not a whole lot that like really, like I get scared. Don't let me lie to you, okay? Things do scare me. But it takes a lot. Like seeing a tiger shark under swimming under me would probably make me get a little pins and needles, right? But it'll also make me kind of swim the other way. Oh, the shark's there. Let me go this way, right? If the shark starts following me, then I might get a little scared, right? But it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And me personally, if I had an opportunity, I'm telling you, hands down, no questions asked, if I had it, I would have done it. I would have done it. Me personally, I would have done it. I would have been dead. I would have been dead. Or I'd have been one of the lucky ones that went on the other 2 dozen excursions down there that survived, right? I do believe things happen for a reason. And we talk about it a lot here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, how we need to not try. And that's one of the things that we preach here, right? Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't have the need to control everything. Kind of go with the flow, And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I was really hopeful, I think that's kind of the bummer on this one is that, everybody was saying, they've done this before, they still have opportunities for oxygen left. And then, it's just these reports that you hear that are coming in from like the Navy now. That's like, oh, well, we knew about this days ago. And it's like, well, thanks, thanks for, they're like the families hoping, they could have been. That's what I hate. I hate when people think that I need them to worry about what I need, right? For example, if somebody's dead, why allow the family to have hope for 3 days when their loved one's not coming back? Just tell them. Just tell them. Like, don't worry. They're going to have to don't. Like, I can't imagine sitting there and how angry I would be after the fact, right? Like, I personally think if this was my mom or my family member and I want to know something and they've been, excuse my language, dicking me around for 3 days, and they may not be, dicking around does not mean that they're being nasty. They can dick around and have like the nicest person there holding your hand and saying, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this, but they're still dicking around. Right? So I'm not saying in a derogatory manner. I'm saying they give you word salad. And I would be just absolutely angry if I found out that the Navy knew that my loved one was dead for 3 days and allowed me to sit there and pray with my family and hold out hope and have 3 additional sleep. Now, granted, finding out they're dead probably is not going to make me sleep any better either. But damn it, that's my choice, and don't withhold information from me because you don't think I can handle it right now or I shouldn't have it right now, right? And we hear that all the time that these people do things because they think they know what's better. Like, don't make decisions for me. If something happened to my family, don't dick around about it. Tell me. Tell me. And I feel so bad for these families, especially in light of hearing that the Navy knew days ago that these guys weren't coming back. And, you know, we're hearing press conferences, you know, the time's not over yet, you know, keep hope, keep hope. It's really frustrating, you know, just really frustrating for me. And I'm incredibly sad. And I know it's, you know, God bless all the people that went out there. I mean, look at all the hands on deck. God bless them, you know. And granted, I do complain about little meaningless stuff in the grand scheme of things, but look at all the countries that sent out ships and the massive amount of ships that were able to get put out there in such a quick amount of time. I mean, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. Let's be honest. It's like 1,000 miles off a coast. And God bless them. God bless the researchers. God bless the ships that brought the other ROVs that they just couldn't get to the bottom. God bless them all. Because you know what? That really shows you you know, and all the ugly we cover here on the Bullhorn-Betty channel, you know, with despicable moms like this Crystal that, you know, leaves her 16-month-old child while she goes on vacation for 8 days, leaves that child without any food, water, you know, nothing. And you hear, we cover so much of the despicable in this world that we don't cover a lot of the goodness. And now, granted, what could possibly be good from this implosion and 5 people dying? There's nothing good of that. There's nothing that's not serious with that. That's really, really bad. But it's the call to duty. It's people not being asked. You know, they heard something. They knew they had the tool to help. They got in their damn boat and they went out there to help. And whether it was going to work or not, we had the other 2 ships that their ROVs couldn't get down. It didn't matter. They came. And that is, you know, that's what we have to hold on to, in my opinion, in situations like this where we just don't understand. And they're incredibly hard stories to, you know, digest. But the only thing that's good that comes out of this is seeing that good side of humanity, seeing the people that stand to the call of duty, that stand up, that don't have to be called on the phone and said, hey, don't you have that ROV? You know, dude, can you kind of get in the boat and come out here? No, you don't have that. People heard of this and they dropped what they were doing. They knew that they could provide help and they did what they could to get out there. And these came from countries. These are ships from countries. It didn't matter. That is the silver lining in all of this, in my opinion. That is the silver lining. And that is truly the beauty of this world. It's in times of need when we all come together for the common good. And this just turned out bad. But the actions of the people that came to that call, God bless them. And let's keep them in our prayers too, because, you know, you got to think they were rushing out there to try to save these people, you know, to save them, to hopefully bring them home to their families. So you can only imagine that this was probably very hard on them, you know, for the reality of the situation they came up with, you know, and came up upon. So, you know, not just the families, not just the victims, those searchers too, those people that weren't asked, that just did the right thing because it was the right thing to do. Those are the people that, you know, God bless them. God bless them. And we need more people like that. So as you guys can hear, we got a lot of beating and banging going on Casa de Bullhorn, right? Casa de Bullhorn. And so we're going to let you guys go. I just wanted to give you guys some updates. Not a whole lot going on in the Brian Koberger case. But I kind of like the smoke behind him, right? Right? You know, I'm sitting here and I'm doing this thumbnail and I'm like, you know, okay. I did another one. I did a completely different thumbnail for this morning. And I'm like, you know what? We really need to talk about Ocean Gate. And we really need to just... Yay! Yay! Love it! Love it! Love it! Love it! All right, guys. Well, I think it's probably time to go guys, we need a roof so we can hear that there's definitely something going on up there. I don't know if it's a roof. We'll keep our fingers crossed, right? So not a whole lot going on in the Brian Koberger case, but just want to, just have some, show some respect for those people. And I just want you guys to understand these people, these were, very smart people. Like these are, it's sad. Though we lost a lot. That's all I can say with the people we lost a lot. I mean, around the world. This was bad. This was bad. And these were notable people. And it's just sad. So anyways, guys, I don't want to give you guys a headache. As you guys can see, I'm probably going to have one all day long. So I've got to go find out what to do. And not only that, I'm dog sitting. Shh. I'm dog sitting a demon dog. I swear to God, this dog's a demon. What was I thinking? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're becoming friends. You know the trick to a demon dog's heart? Lots and lots of bacon. Okay, lots and lots of bacon. You can't get around that dog's mouth. You can't cut that dog's ear, right? Bacon. Bacon cures everything when it comes to dogs. Okay, just to let you guys know, I am a dog lover. I know how to handle some demon dogs, and I got a demon dog in my house that I'm gonna have for 5 days. And if my friend's watching, I got your demon dog, and your demon dog's doing just fine. Okay, I'm about to give it a bullhorn. I'm gonna fill your dog with chocolate and a bullhorn, and I'm sitting at home. No, I'm just joking. I don't want to kill the dog. Actually, I just want to, put the dog up on what is it? The make it a Tasmanian devil. I don't know what it is, but I think I push on this right side so much. I'm constantly tightening these bolts on this armrest because I'm always pushing on it. And I can always feel when it wobbles. And I'm like, how does this thing, I just wobble the crap out of it. It's just the one arm, and I don't get it. Look at that. I got this. It's like it almost works its way out. There we go. Thank God for this, right? Allen wrench. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, the roof's getting on, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for everything. Before we leave, let me just go over. I can't. But the good news is I can see everybody on here. So anybody that decided to sponsor the show, thank you. Even if it's I wish I could put you guys up on the screen. TLC is me. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. Thank you. God bless you. Or the newest member to the coffee club. We are a crazy crew over here, period. We are a crazy crew. We do a lot of crazy stuff, but we have a lot of fun, and we do it with a lot of great heart. And I hope you guys stick around. We're going to be out to the Idaho 4. We're going to be out in Idaho when this trial goes on. I'm actually looking for some new cases to take you guys on. We're going to be doing some road trips here soon. So stick around. Stick around. All right, guys. I need to eat some real food, not these crackers. These crackers, I do not like the carbs. Bad carbs. Good carb. Good carb. All right. I'm officially done. You guys are excused, okay? Go out and have fun. TGIF. Go have some fun. Love you guys. Peace.